People think that we live in the world of humans, but people are wrong. In reality, we live in the world of microbes. It's the microbes that dominate the world, that dominate in biological life. And even more, if you take a person, a human body, there are more microorganisms in its body than cells in its tissues. That's amazing, isn't it? And there is a lot of interesting research and information coming to us that actually microorganisms are responsible for our mood, our behavior, and so on. We used to think that hormones decide. Yes, they do. We used to think that our brain decides. It's also important. But new research shows that microbes are actually much more powerful and important than we used to think. My name is Alex, I'm a social psychologist, and welcome to my channel. In this video, we're going to talk about microbes, how they impact our mood and our behavior, and what do we have to know about them in psychological perspective. So watch this video till the end, it's gonna be very interesting. Let's get started. By the way, guys, be sure to subscribe to my channel and click on the bell. Do not miss my new videos. Okay, so the biggest amount of microorganisms are located in our gut. There are of course some microorganisms in almost every tissue of our body. Even in the brain, yes, they get even there. But mostly they live in our gut. And I think you've already heard that our gut is the second brain. That's how it's important for us. And I think you've had such experience when you had an ache around your belly and your mood was affected by it. So there might be an ache, for example, in your knee, but it does not affect your mood as much as belly ache does. And it's not a coincidence. It has explanation because the number of nerve connections in our gut is similar to the number of nerve connections in our brain. And when our gut feels good, we feel good. When our gut is sick, we feel not that good. Our brain and our gut are connected with the vagus nerve. It's one of the most important parts of our nervous system. And it's the path which bacteria communicate with our brain. You have probably heard about serotonin. It's one of the most important neurotransmitters which affects our mood and our behavior. But did you know that 80% of serotonin is produced by the gut, not in the brain? So most of it comes from gut. Of course, there is a special barrier between our blood and brain, so not everything from our blood gets inside the brain, so brain uses its own serotonin. And that's why serotonin is both neurotransmitter and a hormone. When serotonin is produced inside the brain, it's neurotransmitter. When it's produced in our gut, it's a hormone. And it affects almost every tissue of our body. And not only serotonin, but some other very important molecules are produced in our intestines. Okay, moving on. When we are stressed, our body produces cortisol. It's one of the most important stress hormones. And cortisol increases the permeability of our intestinal wall. And because of that, some toxic elements which are produced by our microbiome get to the bloodstream, so our stress reproduces and it makes it even stronger. That's why we have even more stress. And scientists have found a very strong connection between the health of our gut and especially microbiome, and our mood, how we perceive the world. So there is a very strong correlation, and people actually found the causation later. So if a person has a problem with microbiome, if microbiome in his gut is pathogenic, these people are more likely to be stressed, depressed, and don't feel very well and not be optimistic. And it works in the opposite way too. If a person has a healthy gut, healthy microbiome, these people are much happier and optimistic. So scientists have done a fecal transplantation from depressed mice to happy mice. And what happened? Happy mice actually became depressed too. So it was contagious. And the explanation is microbiome, which affects the mood directly. So the more junk food you consume, the worse your microbiome is. So eating too much sugar, too much alcohol, too much deep-fried foods, chips, and so on will turn your microbiome in more pathogenic state. But the less junk food you eat and the more healthy food you consume, like veggies, fruits, fiber, the healthier your microbiome is, and it will affect your mood. And you know, I've had such experience when I had to take some antibiotics, which is very harmful for our microbiome. After that, I felt some brain fog. So I was not like totally depressed, but I didn't feel that optimistic, didn't feel that happy, and did not feel that energetic. So I was not really sad, but I wasn't happy and optimistic as well. It was like something in the gray perception. But then, several weeks later, of course, it became to a much better state, but it took time. And there is also very interesting information that scientists have found the connection between our microbiome and autism in children. They actually found that microbiome may cause autism. So some bacteria in our gut may produce such toxic substances that may get into our bloodstream, and they will actually attack the cells of our brain, and it may cause autism. So if our microbiome may actually cause autism, can you imagine what big impact it actually has on our brain, on our mood and behavior? That's amazing. And there is more. Microorganisms in our gut may actually cause our behavior. So it was noticed that people who eat a lot of sugar, they actually crave for sugar. And one of the reasons is microbiome. So if you eat a lot of sugar, you actually feed special bacteria which eat this sugar. And the more sugar you eat, the more these bacteria you have. And then these bacteria actually make you crave for sugar because they want to survive and replicate, so they produce special substances which sends the signal to your brain to crave for sugar, to look for sugar and eat more sugar. That's why it's actually sometimes hard to give up on this one. And there is also interesting thing about fiber. The more fiber you eat, which is already a healthy habit, the more this kind of bacteria which likes fiber sends the signal to your brain to eat more fiber. And now the most important part. What do we have to actually do? How can we make our microbiome healthy, which will make us happy and optimistic? First of all, avoid sugar. Eat sugar as little as possible. As I already said, sugar causes turning our microbiome to more pathogenic state. Second, add more fiber. How to do that? There is a very good rule. Eat 5 vegetables every day. Preferably different vegetables of different color. So it may be green broccoli, orange carrot, red tomato, and then 2 more colors, and my imagination is off. Okay, but I think you get the point. There are also some supplements like prebiotic, probiotic, but I think it's a topic for a different video. We can talk about it later. And from my experience, I can actually approve that eating good food, eating vegetables every day, and avoiding sugar actually made me more happy. It really improved my mood. It really made me more optimistic and energized. It really helped me to get rid of brain fog and made me much more productive. So I definitely recommend you to do that. By the way, guys, what do you think about it? Share your opinion in the comment section, that'll be interesting. Maybe you have some other recommendations to improve our microbiome? Let us know. And now I highly recommend you to watch my other video, where I talk about willpower and why actually willpower does not exist. This is very interesting video. The link to the video just appeared on your screen right here. Be sure to check it out. And if you enjoyed this video, then please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. And I'll see you on the video about willpower. Take care.